Hello. Welcome to Mystic Moons. This is a two-part reading. One half is a collective reading. Could be a message for anyone. This is not really delineated by any specific thing. Whatever comes out, comes out. And I will also, in this live, be opening it up to your questions if anyone would like to donate to the cause. Donation details can be found in the description and also in the pinned comment. If you choose, if you feel the need to, get a reading that is more refined, more defined than the messages that we are about to explore right now. My cat is all ready to go and chime her operetta goodness. I have been getting it pretty steady for the past maybe 30 hours. She's going on one of her high intensity sprints of meows. She's not a Gemini, but I think she should be. Maybe Siamese are naturally Gemini kitties. Hello. I have no idea. But anyway, shall we go and get our first collective message? And thank you for the like. Let's see. What is the first message that we're getting here? Low vibration. Low vibration. There was another card that kind of wanted to come out, didn't quite come out. I'd almost get another deck here. We'll see if it's necessary. So we have low vibration. Low vibration is our theme with a Queen of Swords, skeptical. 7 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy. So far our theme. Well, when you deal with a lot of poopy, you tend to go and anticipate if something starts to stink or has stunk before, you just start to anticipate it. I don't know if I want to call this predictive programming, but it definitely is assumptions. Now, I'm not saying these assumptions aren't based on concrete reality, especially here with a 7 of Pentacles. Energies that are coming up here so far, we have some Libra and we have some Taurus. If you have Libra and Taurus in your chart, that could be where you are particularly pessimistic right now. For instance, if you have Libra in your 5th house, you could be really disappointed and also a little negative about the social circles, social opportunities, how your friends are treating you, what kind of circumstances you have to enjoy fun or to bring some lightness into your life. Everything could be very heavy. Also, too, with 7 of Pentacles and Taurus energy here, it could also be, as I said, low vibrations. Maybe if you have Taurus, for instance, in your 1st house, if you have Taurus in your rising, you could be feeling really unnecessarily harsh on yourself with how you look. Maybe other people are nitpicking at you, but with this energy, this is kind of like you putting the words into your own mouth. Not so much what other people are saying, but this is more like an accumulation of negativity has been built up so much that now it's anticipated. One could say, definitely this energy, judging things a bit too harshly. Things may not be optimal right now, but they certainly are not as bad as what some of us may be magnifying it to be. Just because we don't have the options we'd like to deal with right now, that's what my kitty says, doesn't mean that things are going to stay that way. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I have two that came out. So I have air and chaser. I have foreign. And I have fly. Well, definitely in this energy, being oblivious is going to get you nowhere. Do be critical, but don't necessarily write things off for the crap you could suppose them to be. In this energy, air chaser, low vibrations, Queen of Swords, tells me that a lot of crap has been coming around you. And we'll pull a little bit more to get some clarity on what that message is, right? This is not unwarranted. But there's also opportunity here. Maybe that opportunity is our signs, is signs singular, our signs plural, one thing or many, for you to either adapt and adopt or to move on, to exclude. Let's go and get a little bit more information here. I think I will get, thank you for the like, I think I will get one more deck. Okay, let's go and see. I don't want to quite remove the black deck. So with this energy, I have a 10 of Cups. Bottom of the deck energy, I have some Death, Emperor. Lovers, Temperance. Temperance comes up again. We have Temperance hiding up behind here. Things are rising up. Things are changing. No need to allow yourself to become harsh, to become hard. 10 of Cups gets also two, Spider. Lots of planning, lots of review. Quiet. I know we have a full moon coming up at the end of the week. Full moon in Capricorn. Finances and career. All right, so message from Spirit number 1. Signs that we have coming up here in here. We do have a little bit of Sagittarius, what could denote travel with Chaser. Primary energies here are Libra, Taurus, and Pisces. Just because things have not been going particularly well, or the people around you have been particularly ideal, just segue everybody under that label. Watch how you are reviewing the world, reviewing the opportunities that come your way. Okay. What I see here is it really is necessary, not for you to put on rose-colored glasses, but try and see things as they are, even if they do have negative aspects or connotations with them, doesn't mean that there still isn't a benefit that you can get out of it. And even then, with that benefit, I'm not saying that you should go and try and extract it. Maybe it's just easier just to let it go. For instance, if something has a 2% benefit when ideally you would prefer an 80% benefit, then it's not worth it, right? Or a 40% benefit. But what I do see here is Spirit is asking you to not be overly, don't be negative, don't be optimistic, but do try to see things as judiciously and as fairly as you can, because not everything around you, not everything that's approaching you, not everything that's promising is a negative. And what I do see here is Spirit is asking you to use your own judgment, because there are opportunities coming your way. But I feel like with the opportunities that are here, they're not necessarily going to present themselves and go, wow, here, isn't it great? There are opportunities that you're going to have to use your own strategy, your own calculations to uncover. So whether that is in the energy here, you yourself networking, as I said, some opportunities could have a partial benefit. Is it worth it for you to go on to that partial benefit? Could be. Could be worth it for you just to exclude it. But this is asking you to be very strategic. Cut out the emotion, cut out the expectation, see the reality for what it is. Because if you arrange the puzzle pieces that are given to you right now, and if you go out and develop new puzzle pieces, the resulting picture could be quite good. Okay. Spirit is telling you that you have been given a grab bag. Some things are coal, some things are gems, but you do have the tools to create something good for yourself right now, provided you don't get caught up in politics, provided you don't get caught up in hope, right? With this energy here, this is asking you to be very concrete and grounded. Don't be celebratory when there's no reason to be celebratory. Be celebratory once something is in your own hands. This is very grounded energy. But if you arrange everything that you've gotten, make use of everything that you have, it'll be a positive. This is asking you to be a bit cold, maybe a bit sly on your own part, but I'm also going to say in this energy with low vibration, you probably have opened up the door enough to some charlatans yourself, not asking you to become one, but to be aware. You can smile behind a mask and determine if something is worth your time any further. We'll get the next message. Next message. Let's see. I have honor. Honor. With a page of coin. Hope. And the world. Your place in it. Finding your place in it. Establishing your place in it. Haven't yet gotten the time to really come into bloom. But just because that time to come into bloom has not happened yet, doesn't mean it will not happen. Certain things require internal workings before they come out to the start. I actually, with my Page of Pentacles to me is a very fluid energy. So I don't denote that necessarily by any particular earth sign if you want to take it that way. But what we are talking about here in this energy is growing into your true self. Your true self has not been realized yet. You haven't been given a chance yet to flex your true muscles, who you really are, bloom into your own unique flower, your own unique petals. Have the butterflies see your own unique spectrum on the color scale. I hate the word temptation, so I'm not going to use it. But I will say that the concept of honor in today's society, in finding and creating our places, is such a fluid concept, isn't it? Regardless if you look at the world stage, regardless if you look at business politics, regardless if you look at your own door, maybe at your own reflection, there are sliding scales of wrong and right, depending upon the situation and how we change like chameleons to try and keep and perhaps gain what we value, right? It's all about security. It's all about a little bit about power here. Well, once we have security, then we can start to have influence. Once we have influence, then we have power. Those themes are going on here with honor. And as I said, it's a sliding scale. Could be per person, could be per situation. Also, too, in this energy, Five of Swords, especially here, could be a little bit too about, what's necessary. What is necessary to get ahead and to be one true self, express one's true self. How much of one's true self can we express and not slip into obscurity, become overlooked, become exploited, etc.? Right? How do we become powerful and yet still honor and maintain the core? And also, to Page of Pentacles in this energy, what kind of individual do we continue to evolve into as we live out our lives in our communities? If everyone is cutthroat in our communities, we've created a place that's inhospitable to growth, inhospitable to the growing, inhospitable to honor, inhospitable to relationships, inhospitable to care. And do we want to live in a society like that? That's a personal question. And we can see that reflected, as I said, we don't have to go very far. We can see that reflected in the choices that we've made ourselves. We can see that in reflective in the choices that our employers choose to cultivate, what kind of environment, working environment, that we need to participate in. What kind of neighborhoods do we have? What kind of countries do we have? So forth. Anyway, so this honor with a page of pentacles is accompanied by a five of swords. We have some Aquarius energy. We have some Capricorn energy. We also have underneath of it some Cancerian energy. We have just entered Cancer. And then we have two expressive energies here with a Page of Coins and a Page of Cups. Very cautious energy, very calculated energy. How much to share, how much to be vulnerable to. So we get wooden spoon, poverty. We get tomorrow. And we get maturity. I think this is the question that all of us need to go and ask. What are we willing to sacrifice and have less of to create a positive self going forward? What kind of actions that you know would be beneficial to you for right now, beneficial for where you want to be, but will those actions actually serve you into the person that you want to become, right? We all are evolving every day. We all have different wants. Maybe we have the same wants all throughout our lives. And maybe those wants change regularly or periodically. Maybe the our priorities change. Even the longly held ones. But in this energy, it's asking you, what have you sacrificed? What are you willing to sacrifice? And what seems so important now that if you thought about it, it really isn't that big of a deal. So I have the devil. I have some strong Capricorn energy here. Of course, Ace of Cups is Cancerian energy. So we have some fives coming up here as well. Well, we're talking about transition and change. What kind of changes are you allowing yourself to be affected by, allowing yourself to move into? And what kind of changes should you pull back from because it doesn't honor your essential, your original core? Very strong Capricorn energy. Well, we do have too, the upcoming full moon is going to be in Capricorn on, what is it now? I think it's the 23rd in 5 days. Anyway, very strong Capricorn energy. Could be dealing with a Capricorn as well. I would also take a look. I would take a look at where Capricorn sits in your chart. Maybe where Capricorn sits in your chart is where you should make sure that any actions related to those energies really are going to be motivated and acted upon your highest and best self. Because there's so much power here, and that power isn't being utilized as effectively as it should. But this energy is asking you not necessarily to come from a tight background, a tight outlook, but this is asking you to ease up, decompress, and think again, not so much about the people around you, the circumstances around you, the environment around you, the expectations around you, but I'd like you to think back. I'd like you to think about your core self, the part of you that gives you the most pride in who you are right now. And let that be your guiding point, at least for this time period, right? As I said, we just had that other reading talking about how we have to be strategic. But in this reading, this is asking you, as you are strategic, take a step back from the competition that's around you, the expectations, the protections that, of course, we all need to do to get through our public side of our lives. And let's go back to the parts of us that give us the greatest pride and act from that space. Because again, we can gain benefit, obviously, by being ruthless. That unfortunately is the era in society that we have right now, pretty much globally, unfortunately. Exploitation, power plays a big part of it. But we still can go and enact who we want to be and what kind of society do we want to generate, and start that with our own actions. Okay, there is obviously a little bit of a detriment here, obviously, right? In the cards that are here, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords buried here. Everything is very cutthroat here with that wooden spoon. But it's all about taking a stand. In small ways, in large ways. Take a stand to honor the best aspects of you. Okay, that's message number 2. Definitely has some strong Capricorn, strong Aquarius, strong Cancer, and then a little bit of Taurus. Let's see what else we have. I have that classical music playing in the background. Is from someone who doesn't have a surviving branch of their family enacting copyright control, or this live will have its audio taken out. I've noticed that with some of the historical female composers that they put out, and non-European classical musicians, when it plays in the background, I get copyright strikes. We'll see. Let's get another message. I'm going to shuffle these black cards up a little bit. Let's see. Let's see what other message that we have here. I have a timing card. I have weeks. I also have a card week in here too. But we have weeks. We have it actually spelled out. And I have story. And things are interesting. Weeks and story. I have Emperor, and I have a 5 of Wands underneath this 9 of gambling. A little bit of a gamble, a little bit of extending oneself, taking a little bit of a risk, going off into things that are different. Well, you can think about those epic tales, right? All the epic tales that start from leaving your doorstep and going off into what is unfamiliar. Emperor with weeks and story. One could say in this energy, we'll find out as we explore it, how adventurous will you be? You know, in this energy too, it's also asking you, maybe teasing you. How grandiose can you be with how you project yourself to others, regardless of how true or not it may be? How much authority can you put yourself out to when you are out among others? Weeks, story, emperor. Can you tell a tall tale? Can you tell a believable tall tale? Can you sell people, or should I say, what can you sell people on effectively? Perhaps in this energy too, someone, I don't like to curse, but perhaps someone too in this energy could be coming to you with a little bit of BS. But in this energy, the BS is actually something that we all could tap into. We all should tap into. Whoever can gain the most attention, whoever can project themselves the strongest wins. And I'm going to say, all this fire, it's worth it to try. No harm in trying. Also, too, in this energy, with what people tell you, take it yourself with a very sensible grain of salt. But also, too, Emperor energy, weeks and stories. Take whatever anyone else is telling you with a bit of skepticism, but don't focus on it. The focus is not on the others. Here, make the focus about you. I don't think this is asking you to be overbearing, right? Don't be boring, right? You have to be strategic. We have story here. Let's find out more. Energy is coming up here. Well, strong fire, particularly strong Aries. And then we have some Leo. Leo energy is coming up shortly, right? Leo will be coming up in about a month, right? Time still goes by on a weird level for me. Anyway, so we have weeks and story. Let's see what else we have here. I have some more fire here with 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. Dicey energy here. You're going to have to make the most of your opportunities that come your way. Don't necessarily think, maybe this isn't it, or I can wait for the next one. That's what my cat says. If there's something here that interests you, something that you want, no better time to go after it, no better time to position yourself after it than now. Interesting how we have under 2 cards too. We have a King of Cups here. King of Cups, though, flanked by this energy, speaks of having to win favor. There's competition here, make no doubt. Competition overall in the collectives, our general collective's energy. I do read my King of Cups, incidentally, as Pisces. Maybe that could mean something to you. Maybe that would not. Could also mean this energy, the person who, or the people, the sentiment that you need to go and win over despite the competition is someone who necessarily does not value, I don't want to say conventional things, but they're looking, the things that they would find important and the things that they would highlight would be specific to them, unique to them, not necessarily commonality. For instance, everyone could say, we all like gold. Well, maybe this person likes chocolate, right? Who knows, right? They go, oh, you're offering me a gold bar. I'd rather have something I could eat, right? Could be something like that. Maybe here's someone as well, King of Cups energy. It isn't so much offering them an easier time, for instance, but here's somebody who, with its energy, very driven, right? What they don't really want to know necessarily isn't pure per se success, and it isn't necessarily an easier time, but this is very competitive energy. What they're interested in are ideas and solutions to obtain, gain, grow, thrive, become noticed. Noticeable energy here, peacock energy here is really, really strong. You have to pull yourself out and away from the crowd. You have to be eye-catching. You have to be bold if you want that recognition. 9 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, clarifying Emperor. Under weeks and stories, soon the opportunity will come your way. How well you perform in front of one audience, several audiences, I don't know. King of Cups energy here, you have to win hearts. Not necessarily win minds, you have to win hearts. You have to go and show that you could go and fulfill that desire. 7 of Swords with a Hierophant. And then, as I said before, all this energy is very entrepreneurial, very exploratory, very breaking first ground type of energy. I don't quite think I'm talking about romance. If I am, I wouldn't bother. If anything slightly resembles this situation, I would exit myself out of this because this is a bit too cutthroat. Feels like opportunity, feels like work. If it's something other than work, then it's kind of sick. Okay. Let's see what else I can share here. There's something else I wanted to say here. Oh, well, we do have some Pisces energy underneath of it all. I already explained where I kind of saw that coming through with King of Cups. We also have very strong fire. Overall, all the fire signs are represented. And then we have some Aquarius energy with maybe a bit of Taurus. But this energy here is asking you to make the most and the best. Oh, and I was about to say Socrates. And Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. But in this energy here, Aquarius, Seven of Swords with Hierophant, Aquarius with Taurus, is asking you to make the most of the opportunities that you have. When you have visibility, and this is also kind of giving you, as I said before, the leeway to stretch the truth as you feel comfortable about doing it. You have to ensure all eyes are on you. You have to make use of the chances, the chance that's coming your way. So I have Fate. I have Spider. Very, very calculating energies overall in this pull. I have High School. I have a card that fell out. I have Divorce. Oh, the energy here is a bit Machiavellian. Some of you could be literally going through a divorce. Some of you very literally could be having some sort of connections with high school. Maybe you've graduated high school, about to go and come on to college. Maybe you have kids that are in high school, right? I mean, these could be literal cards, obviously. You could have a spider that jumps on your lap, right? They all could be very literal. I'm going to say here, on the higher level for the greater collective, this is asking you to remove juvenile thoughts, juvenile behavior patterns, juvenile motivations. What has been just before something that you would have engaged in, something that you would have thought important, but now you can look back and go, that is really lame. Not saying it still isn't attractive or still isn't something that you would enjoy, but ultimately you could still look back on it and go like, I don't need that. What can you let go of? What do you need to let go of and mature? This is asking you to be a lot more strategic too. Also too, with high school and all this individualistic energies, and we're talking about competition, competitive state coming up. Not all people can sit in the chair. Not all people can sit on the throne when there is only one chair available. This is asking you to separate yourself from the crowd. Separate yourself from the us mentality and go a little deeper into the me mentality. It's asking you to be strategic for your own future. Now, this also, I would invite you to think about the reading we just pulled before. How much do you push the envelope in the shades between right and wrong, and where we sit on it overall? Where do we sit on the scale of right to wrong, depending upon certain situations? The only one who can make that judgment of what kind of actions to take for the future you want to go and be a part of, the only one who can answer that, the only one who can think about that is you. But I see in overall, all these readings share that common theme. And this one is asking you definitely to act in your own best interest and not necessarily that of the expectations around you. Now, exactly how do you work that up? It's really up to you. But I do see here that there is a situation coming up where that competition is there and where you will have, for a brief moment, full consideration. And how that turns out is up to you. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end these readings. Guess I can leave that card up. If anybody would like a personal reading, I'll be around. I'll be leaving this up. Thank you so much for the likes. And what more can we say? What is it going into Tuesday? You know, Tuesday is a day that is associated with Mars energy, with Aries energy. Also some mercurial energy, the efforts we put out, the things we say, the stance we take. Anyway, that's my message to share with you.